So first we're going to take apart the XP7. Now, fair warning, I did open this up so I would have some idea as to how to put everything together because there are a lot of parts. We've got a slip sleeve here, which just has a lot of pretty pictures on it. The box itself is pretty snazzy. It's got a magnetized cover here, and this is what it looks like on the inside. I did leave everything in its original packaging, but I wanted to know where it all was. So you've got your headset here, and underneath all of it is the relevant pieces, parts, etc. Now, previously, the headset itself had a 15 to 18 foot cable. Now they've got an adapter cable. So you've just got this nice cable here. You've got the really solid headset base. The cups are completely turnable so that you could use one or the other. Not at the same time, but if you decided you didn't want to use one, you could just flip it off to the side. So we've got the headset there. This piece right here, which I know I'm going to have a hard time getting out because I've already had to get it out once, is the interfacing between the console and the headset. There we go. It's obviously pretty small. On one side, you have your USB and your pin out to the headset itself, which runs the power for the headset. And on the other side, you have the auxiliary port for sound. You have the mini USB, and you also have the optical cable. Now, this does have a pass-through. I'm assuming for if you wanted to record as well as play, you could do that. It's pretty small. It really doesn't weigh anything. There's very little inside of it because it's not self-powered. All right. We've got two boxes. One generic, cables and accessories, and one which is the audio control unit. So we'll take each of those boxes apart, as well as your Turtle Beach XP7 book, which tells you everything about how to set it up, not only for the Xbox 360, but also for PS3, PC, and for your mobile use. So for this purpose, I do have a PS3 and a PC, but I'm only going to be showing the Xbox use. It's a pretty simple setup from there on out. It uses the same USB, power, etc., etc., so there's not a whole lot of change. It's a pretty basic book, does come in several different languages, and thankfully I did take some time to read through this, so we should be okay. We've got our audio control unit here, and it actually does have a pretty long cable. I was pretty excited about it, and it does include in the cables and accessories box an optional extension cable. So this is what it looks like here. It actually has a clip on it, so I don't know where or what you would want to clip it to. It's a nice metal clip. You could probably even clip it to your clothes if you were that kind of lazy. So it's got a dial here which lights up once it's plugged in. You've got programmable settings here, 8 programs, and you can also change the volume for chat and in-game sound independently from each other. It's got a little weight to it, but the cable does probably weigh about the same, which might cause some problems with dragging the cable around if you've got unruly cats like I do, or small children that want to play with the shiny light up thing, and we will have to see how that works out when we plug it in. It does come with a nifty Quickstart guide as well, and I'll put some pictures of that up on the site. Just tells you basic surround sound on. You can change the speaker angles, you can change the microphone, you can mute it, change the master mic volume, and also shows you how to set your programs. So that is definitely a useful piece of information and a good lesson to learn to not throw everything out without looking at it first. Not that gamers would ever do that. So this is what your audios and accessories box looks like on the inside here. Each of these things does come in its own pretty little package. And the neat thing that I've never seen before in any kind of gaming setup that I really appreciate is little labels. So this one is neatly labeled the digital optical cable, and they all have their own individual labels because several of them look exactly the same. This one right here is the headset breakaway cable, and there's instructions inside that tell you what to do with that, and it looks absolutely 100% identical to the mobile adapter cable. This is why I like labels. So exactly the same cable, same length, so on and so forth. And we'll also get some pictures of everything laid out to show you exactly what this looks like. You've got your mic with boom, so that's kind of neat. You don't have to worry about it getting in the way, and you can also use the headset without the microphone attached. We have a 3.5mm auxiliary cable. We also have the Xbox 360 chat cable. not my favorite of cables, kind of annoying, but it does look like it's a good length, which is nice to hear. The audio control unit extender cable, which we probably won't be using for the purposes of this, but it's just a USB and a 5-pin cable, one on each end, that allows you to make it a little bit longer if you've got a setup that's farther away from your TV or behind an entertainment center, so on and so forth. And last but not least, we have the console interface USB cable. So these are all the pieces, parts that we have that we're going to be setting up. I opened up most of the packages, and I will be opening up the rest of them as we go. And I've got an Xbox 360 here, so we're going to change the camera angle a little bit and show you what it looks like to put all these pieces together. All right, let's hope that I read the instructions very, very clearly. So the mobile adapter cable, I'm going to just go ahead and keep that aside. We don't need it. We've got our audio interface right here. We have our extender cable. I'm also going to leave that aside. And we have our wireless Xbox 360 cable. So starting with the optical cable. And I'm going to add a note here on a difference between the older Xbox 360s and the newer Xbox 360s with the cable. I have absolutely no idea what was said to me. So I'm going to just go ahead and remember that later and put it in the article after it's done as a, hey, remember this note. So we've got our optical cable down here. Don't worry, there's no disc in this that I'm going to be ruining, because that would be terrible, and I would be a bad, bad gamer if I did that. So we've got a pretty decent length for this optical cable. You could go ahead and set up the interface pretty far away from the unit, which is great. And on the instructions, it does indicate which one of these is the input and which is the output, and we're going to hope that I remember it correctly and have it be this one right here. So next we're going to set up, if I can find it, there we go, power for the audio interface. This is just a regular USB cable to mini USB. You'll probably use just about any older Motorola cable that you have sitting around your house if you needed it. And we're going to put this right into one of the many USB slots. The reason I'm hoping that this will eventually be compatible with Xbox One or PS4, something along those lines, is frankly because I really think that there's no reason it shouldn't be. We just plugged a USB cable and an optical cable into this sucker and it powered on. So I don't really see what the difference would be other than any chat wave or sound issues in terms of getting the sound out to the headset. So I've got power to the audio interface right here, and now I'm plugging the 5-pin cable and power into our audio control, which is right here. It's incredibly long, and it does have a little Velcro tie, keep things nice and organized, because this right here makes my brain want to melt. So for the purpose of this, we're just going to keep everything nice and short and organized so that you can at least see what we're doing here. If I can remember how Velcro ties work. Alright. I have a friend who has a 32-inch television as their desktop monitor and sits approximately 8 inches from it. And that would just kill me because all I can think about is how many cables would be right in their face all the time. That would drive me insane. So try and keep some of these cables out of the way if we can, so that you can see everything that's involved in getting this set up. Alright, we've got our audio output and our video and our power. So what do we have left? We have the headset breakaway cable, which if you remember this little piece dangling here, looks like this. And this is going to go right from the audio output on the interfacing to the headset, if I remember correctly, which I really hope I do. Otherwise, I'm going to have to look through the instructions, and you might see a cut in the video, because that could be bad. So this right here is our control. We're going to plug it right into the headset control option. It's pretty fancy. And after that, because this has a pass-through of the audio control, which is right there, you don't need to plug the headset directly into your controller, if I read the instructions correctly, which is really neat because it's not a very long cable, and it was always a pain in the butt to me to have to keep my head as close to the controller as possible. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but closely here you've got a headset symbol, you've got a controller symbol, and you have a little phone and music symbol, which is what you would plug your phone into with the cable that's provided for phones. So that's everything right there. Probably should take the little sticker off of here, but we're good for right now.